Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Courageous Hearts, Day 4, Building a Resilient Mindset. So welcome back. If you've missed any of the prior days, day 1, 2, or 3, you can watch those videos in the group. They're all there. I'm trying to get them organized better so that you can find them all easily. They'll also all be out on YouTube when we finish the 5 days. They'll all be there together so you can watch them as many times as you want. I wanted to make sure they were available to you. Sorry. So I want to acknowledge you for showing up again. If this is your first day, welcome. If it's your fourth day, welcome. You're always welcome. So today we'll discuss something that will help you move forward when life is hard. And that is building a resilient mindset. Resilience isn't about denying your pain. It's about learning how to bend without breaking. I've often discussed resilience. I discuss it often because it is so important to healing after difficult times, difficult seasons in our lives. And I've even dedicated an entire chapter to it in my book, Nurture Emotional Well-Being for Women. So much about what I talk today, much of what I talk about today will be from the book with some new things added in because there's always new. There's always new things to learn. Resilience is an attribute that is important to thriving. The role of resilience is to help you get up when trauma or other traumatic situations, when they knock you down. Resilience is a factor that holds a hand out for you and knows that you can stand up even when things are difficult. And there are tools that can help you do that or learn how to be better at it. Resilience is an attribute and a mindset that acts as a protective layer when we need it. When something traumatic happens, it affects us deeply. But your resilience will motivate you to keep going, even in adverse times. So let's get started. What is resilience? Resilience is the ability to get back up after setbacks, to keep moving forward even when you're afraid, and learn from those experiences to be better the next time something difficult happens. The stories you tell yourself about who you are and what you're capable of will either build or weaken your resilience. Resilience is not resistance to suffering. There will always be suffering. We are human, so we know that will happen. But it is the capacity to bend without breaking. Stretch. Stretch our own abilities. Strength does not come from ignoring the pain. It stems from knowing that your past self has been hurt and that your future self will heal. It's not about avoiding the pain, but learning to thrive within it. Resilience is the ability to adapt and stay calm, steadfast and unwavering despite life's difficulties. I found resilience to be the missing link in my life. Just like you, I survived breast cancer and a lot of other traumas. I received those phone calls with the news I never expected. It happened to me twice, and now I have resilience that helped me through the second diagnosis. I can look back and know that I got through it much better than I did the first time. I was actively practicing the tools I had learned about during my first trip through breast cancer. I built a life to thrive, so when it came again, I was equipped to deal with the heartache of the bad news. Many people think that resilience is something you're born with, but the truth is, it's a skill, it's a mindset you can practice and strengthen over time. When you believe I can't, you shut the door to growth. But when you believe I'm still learning, I know I can, you leave room for change and for growth. Your self-talk is is a primary reason we think we can't. So I'd like to invite you to think about your own self-talk. Ask yourself, when I face a challenge, what do I usually tell myself? Do I criticize, blame, or shame myself? Or do I speak with kindness and patience? These are questions I'd like you to ask yourself. So take a few minutes to write down the thoughts that come up most often when things are hard for you. Let's take 4 to 5 minutes and allow you some time for writing. Pull out a piece of paper or your journal and let's write the thoughts that come up most often when things are hard. So let's pause now for about 4 minutes. I'll write right along with you. Okay, we have about 2 minutes left. So let's continue writing about the thoughts that come up most often when things are hard. okay. I imagine some things came up for you. As we look at our list of things we wrote when things are hard, do you see any of those with, I can't do this, or I need help, or please do not leave me like this, or anything that is kind of woe is me? That's normal. I wrote a few of those things too. Why is life so hard? I can't do this again. I can't do this alone. Why is life so hard? I wrote that twice. Life is hard. It's definitely hard. So I'm not going to try to make it, I'm not trying to say that it's all just roses because it's not. But what I'm trying to do is teach you ways to equip yourself so that when those things happen, you have tools to call upon. I know this is true because I've lived it myself. I've learned ways. And I know that when things happen, I do get sad and angry, and I go through all the emotions. So it doesn't take that away, but what it does is equip me with tools so that I can keep going and heal. So next I'll talk about 3 mindset shifts. That's what I call them. It's taking our minds from one negative thing to think about it differently. Maybe it's more positive, or maybe it's something we can do so we can grow. And I have 3 of them that I'll present to you. There are many others, but these are just 3 I thought you could start with if you're not already doing it. Shift number 1 is reframing your statement, I can't, to I'm learning. Saying I can't limits your potential and shuts down any opportunity. By rephrasing it to I'm learning, you embrace growth and view challenges as chances to gather new skills and insights. You challenge yourself to find opportunities to learn and grow from this negative situation. So you treat setbacks as valuable lessons that propel you forward. The second shift is shifting from I'm broken to I'm rebuilding. We know that when bad things happen, our feelings of brokenness fosters hopelessness. But viewing yourself as rebuilding acknowledges your strength to heal. This shifts your mind and allows you to recognize that every effort you make contributes to a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. Use this phrase to reflect, set goals, and grow from adversity. Shift number 3 is it's too late. Shifting it to today is a fresh start. Every morning I wake up and put 2 feet on the floor and think, today is the day. I start all over again. Whatever happened yesterday doesn't matter. It's easy to feel like past mistakes carry forward day after day. It means it's too late for change. But that's not true. Today is a fresh start means that every moment is a new opportunity. No matter your past, you can take action now and set new intentions for your future. When you go to sleep at night, you can say, tomorrow the sun will come up again, because it will. I'll post these 3 shifts in our chat. That way you have them and you can copy them into your journal and reflect on them. You'll be amazed at how helpful they are. They should be showing up in the chat for you. There they go. So you can copy them or you can write them down. So now let's practice these shifts. We'll do a guided reframing exercise. So I will make a statement and then I want you to come up with a reframe. How can you say it differently so that it gets you through that difficult time? Think of a thought you often have that keeps you stuck. I'll name one and then I want you to think of a way to reframe it and write that down. The first one is, I'm too weak. I'm not strong enough to handle this. How can you reframe that? What can you say differently? The next one is, nothing ever works out for me. I try and I fail all over again. What can you say differently? I'll never get over this. I'll never forget the pain I've been through. How can you reframe that statement? You know, you are in pain, but how can you restate it to know that you will move forward, that this too shall pass? One way to reframe is to ask yourself, is this thought absolutely true? Challenge yourself gently. Then write a new belief that feels more helpful. Yes, it's true. We've gone through traumatic situations. We've had lots and lots of pain. That's all true. But then it isn't also true that we can change that feeling with a change in our mindset? For example, I'm not strong enough becomes I am stronger than I know. I'm going to figure this out. So it doesn't mean you're not hurting. It doesn't mean you feel weak. It just means I'm stronger than I know, and I will keep learning. So take a few minutes to write some thoughts. What comes up to you? And I see a few of you writing some things in the chat. But But I encourage you to keep writing. Think about things that limit you, but let's talk more about how you can reframe that to believe things will get better. Let's write for 2 minutes. Okay, you can continue writing for a few more seconds and then we'll get going again. I know you're doing lots of sharing and I love that. Thank you very much. If you want to do some more sharing, put them in the chat. You're going to help each other with your sharing. But if you want to keep your details private, I understand that. It's important, the point of this class is so that you can learn. And I'm just sharing ideas, but you can take these ideas and make them your own. Sometimes even speaking a new belief aloud will help you anchor it. Anchor it in your mind and your heart. In your homework, you will be practicing more reframing. And you'll probably use some of the things that you brought up right now. But it gives you time to reflect and actually write them down. When we made our first list earlier in this presentation, I'm guessing that some of your thoughts were more negative. But then reframing them, I found myself writing the same thing, but just in a different way, knowing that things will get better. An empowering belief rather than a belief that takes me down. But I remind you, it doesn't change your situation, but it just changes the way you think about it. It keeps you strong so that you can persevere. That's resilience. I will put a link to the workbook in the chat so that if you haven't downloaded it yet, you can do that now or as soon as the call's over, whatever works for you. Also on day 4 homework, you're asked to think of 3 affirmations you can repeat to yourself when negative thoughts appear. And maybe you already have things that you lean on. But this actually makes it real. You're writing them down. I also ask you in the homework to make a commitment to challenge these old stories and practice new beliefs. I ask you to sign the signature, making a commitment to yourself. All right, let's talk about a daily practice for resilience. Building a resilient mindset is not just a one-time exercise. What I'm trying to teach you here are ways that you can make it a daily practice so that you're building a resilient mindset. It's cultivating resilience in your life. It starts with self-discovery, and that's what this homework will do for you. Understanding your strengths and your weaknesses, your triggers. It's about developing a growth mindset and equipping yourself for life and seeing challenges as opportunities for learning and growth. Perhaps most importantly, it's about building a support system by surrounding yourself with people who lift you up. Maybe it is a boundary where you're not allowing people to bring you down. Instead, you're surrounding yourself with people who encourage and inspire you to keep going. I will be one of those people for you. That's what I love to do in our group, is inspire you to keep going. Even when we get through breast cancer, we still have the aftermath to deal with. And that's what resiliency can help us with. Strengthening your mindset. Here are a few ways to do that. So notice when old stories show up and gently reframe them. You know, it's 4 years after the fact, but you bring it up again. Why? Why? Let's not limit our happiness. These old stories can often hold you back. When you notice them, take a moment to gently reframe those narratives. Ask yourself, yes, that did happen to me. It's true. But is there a more positive or resilient way, a more resilient perspective maybe is a way to say it, that I can adapt so that I can move forward and live, be joyful and happy? This practice can help you reshape your thinking and encourage a more constructive outlook. So I'm not asking you to be, that make everything roses. I'm just saying that we don't have to live in past stories. We can come up with new stories and continue healing. Healing is an instant. It's like peeling an onion. So using these old stories, hearing ourselves think of them, but then reframing them so that we can heal is the way to go. The second one is to speak to yourself like you would to a friend. Talk to yourself. Look in the mirror and look into your own eyes. The way we talk to ourselves can significantly influence our mindset. So instead of being overly critical or harsh, try to treat yourself with some kindness and compassion. The kindness and compassion you would offer a close friend. Use supportive and encouraging language, especially during challenging times. These gentle self-talks can boost your confidence and resilience. And I do encourage you to look in the mirror and look yourself in the eye. And right now, if you're physically able, let's give ourselves a hug. That's where you can put opposite arm or opposite hands on opposite shoulders and just, oh, it feels so good to hold yourself tight. So speak to yourself like you would a friend and hug yourself like you would a dear friend. The third, this is the third daily practice that can just be a way of life. Celebrate small victories. Life is full of badness. There are bad people in the world. There are bad things that happen to us and to people we love. But celebrate those small victories. Progress can sometimes feel slow, which may lead to frustration or discouragement. To combat this, make it a point to recognize and celebrate small wins along the way, whether it's completing a task, overcoming a minor obstacle, or simply maintaining a positive attitude. But by acknowledging these achievements, no matter how small, it creates a sense of momentum and motivates you to keep moving. An idea on a day when you just don't feel like getting off the couch. There are days like that. I have days like that. But if you just make one small effort, one small task, you feel a sense of accomplishment. So if I get up off the couch and I straighten the pillows and I fold the blanket and put it away, and then I feel like, okay, I did that. I can do one more thing. And then you do one other small task, and all of a sudden, you've cleaned the whole living room. So celebrate those small victories. They're important. They give you momentum and motivation. Actions do not motivate us. Actions give us momentum. That and momentum creates motivation to keep moving forward. So by incorporating these practices into your daily routine, you can activate a more positive and resilient mindset to support your growth and well-being to get through life and the negativity that hits us every day. Remember, you don't have to do this perfectly. It's like peeling an onion. You do it a little bit at a time. Keep trying. There will be days when you feel like, oh, I failed again. But I'm going to get up tomorrow and try again. Today, you took a strong step toward reclaiming your power by learning how to build a resilient mindset. Before we finish, here are your action steps to finish for day 4 of the Courageous Hearts for a 5-day wellness journey. You're going to complete your limiting beliefs frame worksheet. This is in your workbook. You're going to practice saying your new empowering beliefs out loud each morning. And you're going to notice when old thoughts return and remind yourself that resilience grows through practicing every day. I'll put these actions in the chat for you. Monday, we'll finish off with day 5 of our challenge. It will be called Creating Your Path Forward. So we'll learn how to integrate all you've learned in these 4 days, integrate them into your own life, into your daily life. Thank you for being here today and doing this work with an open heart. And remember, with every step forward, you are building resilience. As always, I'm cheering you on. I'll talk to you on Monday. Keep commenting, though. I love reading your comments. Thanks so much. Goodbye.